Hello friends, welcome back to the Craft Castle. I am working on a super fun personal project and I feel like maybe you'd be interested in this one. I am making my own custom necklace, and currently right now what I'm doing is I'm taking my kids' fingerprints and putting their names on pieces of metal, and I'm making my own necklace. My husband a long time ago created a really special necklace for me and it has since broke. So I am just creating small little pieces, trying to reimagine what this necklace originally looked like. So I've already done my daughter's and it turned out so stinking cute. I used my Xtool for this and just a couple little supplies here. So I feel like because I have one more kid, maybe you would be interested. So let's work on the next little pendant for my son. So for this project, I am going to be using my Xtool. I picked up some of these jewelry blanks. Some are from Joann's, some are from Hobby Lobby. You can also get these off Amazon, anywhere that sells jewelry blanks. You're also going to need some laser marking spray. I'll link this in the description of the video. I get this on Amazon. They do have a bigger bottle of this. I got the smaller bottle just because the stuff is so stinking expensive, but you are going to need some of this. It's to mark it and make it black. Okay, then the other thing that you're going to need is an ink pad, preferably black, just so you're going to be able to see it a little bit better when you do your stamping. I have already had my kids do one. I did them a few times, and we have a couple really light ones, some really dark ones. And I'll show you why you need to do a few stamps just to make sure you get the best scan. Now, you could do this on the Xtool program, do the trace feature on the Xtool program, and I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. I did not use the Xtool program for the tracing of this, and the reason why is because you lose a lot of characters or the details of like your fingerprints. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my phone, and there's an app that you're gonna download, and it's free to use, that you can use to scan these fingerprints to make them look so crisp. I mean, this thing, look at this. It is so small. It's definitely smaller than her original. This was her original. This is how small. So we went from an original thumbprint to a very small thumbprint, and the details are not lost in this thing. So amazing. So let's just do the thumbprint scan for right now, and then I'll show you what it looks like in the Xtool and then engraving it onto a new jewelry blank. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna download this app. It's called Adobe Capture. Then all you're gonna do is just press that camera button, and then this is going to pop up. It's gonna look really weird, and you can see if I'm moving it over all of my stuff here, it's kind of scanning it, but it's all in black and white. That's what you want. If you come over here and you see how this is going to be so dark. In the original, it's so dark. When you come and you try and scan it, it like all the details disappear. You can change the lighting. See how you can change the lighting and like details come and go, right? Okay, this is the one that I had used for my original. And if we scan over the top of it and we adjust see how we're adjusting it, and it just like the details come and go. That's kind of what you're looking for. You just want to be able to see the details. Now let's go over into my sense, because that's the one that we're working on. That's the one I have not done yet. Okay, I'm just readjusting the slider bar. If we keep going far, do you see how like now it's really dark here in the original one? It seems pretty dark in the original one too. Here we go. I'm just gonna make it just a little bit lighter. Okay, I think that's perfect. And then you just want to press the capture button. Okay, this is going to pop up. If you like the way this scan looks, then you can stop, or you can go and press that back button and you can retake the picture. I am going to crop just this. Cropping just that. I only want the fingerprint. And I'm going to press save. Then you can rename that if you want to, but I am just going to save it. Okay, then all you want to do is I'm going to save this to my camera roll, and then I'm going to AirDrop this over to my MacBook. Okay, just got sent over into my MacBook. There it is in my download. So I'm just going to drag this over onto my desktop, make this a little bit smaller. Okay, I am going to insert an image. This is my scan that I have, and we're going to open this. And yes, scale to fit on my canvas. There is my son's fingerprint. Now, if you wanted to do it on just the Xtool, you could press the edit image. It won't engrave because there's a white box. It won't actually engrave just the fingerprint. So you're going to have to come over here and you're going to click on everything that is white. We can zoom in. Now, when I had done my daughters, like this is pretty time consuming, all these small little dots, but also when I did my daughters, it almost like I lost a lot of features that the fingerprint had, and I didn't like the look of it. You could leave it here if you wanted to, and if you press save, this is what your fingerprint will look like. It looks like there is a little bit, see how you can't see like the lines in some of this areas. I don't know. I just did not like the feature of this. Maybe this would be great for something that had less like small little crevices that you needed to click. Again, I just was not a fan of this. So what I did was I went over here, I opened up a new window of my internet, and I went to this. It's called remove.bg, which is you're removing a background. I'm going to upload the image, and then when I press go, it's going to upload it, and it's going to take away that entire white box. You're going to be left with just the fingerprint. You just removed the entire background, which I love. And I'm going to press download. It's going to go into my downloads. Here it is in the preview screen, and you can see that everything that is black, and then there's no white anywhere, which is perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. So going back over into Xtool, I'm going to delete this. I'm going to go over here and, I'm going to take my download and I'm going to drag it out onto my desktop, make this a little bit smaller. Okay, we'll go over here into image, and I'm going to find my one that I just created. It's 500 by 500 resolution, but it removed the background, and I'm just going to press upload. That is our finished engraved fingerprint. I mean, it is that easy. Okay, so now we're going to move everything else to the side besides that blank that you are wanting to work on. So I'm just going to grab one of my blanks, and we're going to use that Surmark spray. You can do this over the trash can if you wanted to, but I just have this like cruddy old shipping box that I had previously used, just so we can contain the spray for this. And you want to spray this spray onto your metal blank. You want to do a nice even coat. It doesn't need to be super heavy, but you do want it to be a nice even coat. And because I'm only doing one side of my metal blank, you're only going to do one side. You're going to want to let this dry completely so you have a nice, good engraving on it. You can blow on it, and you can see when it's drying, like this is dry, that's still wet. You just want to make sure it's all completely dry. Okay, when you're done, make sure your Xtool is on. Now, I don't generally like this process for any other things. Do not do this when you're cutting. However, I do like to do this when I am engraving something, especially something small like this, because it can move around a lot. What I did was I kept the my mat. You can see the cutting mats in there in my Xtool. I'm going to leave the cutting mat in my Xtool, and I'm also going to make sure that the stickiness is being sticky. So I have the plastic off of it. I'm going to stick my metal blank directly, see where the red dot is on your Xtool? I'm just going to stick it right in the middle of my Xtool, and I'm going to shut the Xtool. There is my metal blank right there. Let's do an auto measure, just so it auto measures everything. I'm going to come over here into material, and I am going to select the silver stainless steel tag, because that's what we're using. It's not a Xtool material, but it'll work. Okay, clicking on our fingerprint, I'm going to make it small, and I'm going to zoom in because we have it small, super small. I'm going to zoom in. Oh, and you see how like the whole of my tag is crooked? You could keep it if you wanted to and rotate it, but I am going to just straighten out this tag just so then it's easier. Oh, and there it is. And let's auto measure again. Okay, I'm going to make my tag just a little bit, or my fingerprint just a little bit smaller. I'm going to place it on there. And then I am going to add in a text box, because in my original tag that I did of my daughters, I put her name on there. So I'm going to click the text, and I'm just going to click a box, and then over here in text box, and I'm going to put my son's name. And let's see, I'm going to change the typeface over into something different. I like that one. I think that was the one I used originally. And we're gonna make this smaller. And instead of doing a score, I'm gonna do an engrave. Okay, we're gonna make this small. And I'm gonna rotate it just so it is on the tag, just with the fingerprint. And actually, I think I'm gonna change the direction of this. So make that. Okay, there's that. Make this a little bit bigger. And drag this over, making sure that it's on my tag. If it's not on your tag, it's not going to engrave on there. We have that. We're going to be using a stainless steel tag, 70/30. We're going to click on that and we're going to engrave at, well, it says 50/30, which is weird, but we're going to keep it. Why don't we just keep it? Okay, then we're going to go into process. It says it's going to take about 6 minutes. Ooh. New update, you can change your settings. That's nice. Okay, I'm gonna frame first just to make sure that it's going to be framed out correctly. Okay, I like the way that looks. So then I'm gonna press start and press the button on my Xtool. Remember when you are using the laser function for your laser that you vent out. Do not forget to not put that vent out of your window. You know, the beauty of having this Xtool is it's so quiet. It is currently running and you can barely hear it. Okay, now that it's all finished, you can open it back up, open your Xtool back up, and take out your little doodad. Now, if I was doing this just for myself and not for a video, what I would do is I would just take this over and scrub it with soapy water just to get off the excess of this metal marking spray, but using a little bit of Clorox wipe will work too. And you know what? I knew the settings that they had given me were crappy settings, terrible. We're gonna try this again with my settings that I like, not the Xtool settings. Going back over here, doing the same thing. We're gonna take another jewelry blank, spray it, come over here into our machine. We're just gonna press done. Lay it down in there. This time I'm gonna do my own settings that I know are my tried and true. Okay, so I'm gonna change this over into user-defined parameters, and I'm going to change it to, here are my settings on a Post-it note, and we're gonna do 100 power, 30 speed. Then I'm gonna come over here into this one, and I'm also going to use user-defined, and I'm gonna do 100 power, 30 speed. Now we're gonna press process. The estimated time is 3 minutes, and I am just gonna press start and engrave that. I should never second guess myself, but here we go. We have another Clorox wipe. I'm just gonna wipe this off. Do a little bit of scrub. Remember, if you did this and you were at your house and you just scrub this with soap and water instead of using a Clorox wipe, you wouldn't have to put so much effort into it. And there we go. That is your finished little circle piece. I absolutely love it. Exactly what I was looking for and the correct settings. So there is my daughters and there is my sons. They are obviously gonna look different because it's their actual fingerprints. All fingerprints are different, but those two are it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is do a little doodad thing. Cause I'm making a necklace. I'm gonna put these two together, and then I'm also going to engrave something on this rectangle. I'm gonna delete the fingerprint because we don't want that. And then I'm gonna change my son's name into my baby's. Then I'm just going to make this, line this up onto my tag, make this super small. We can zoom in and see how it's getting cut off just a little bit right there. So I'm just gonna rearrange this to where it's going to fit exactly on my tag. This is kind of where the mat is kind of important, because if you didn't have that, everything would be black, including that tag, and it would be super hard to figure out like where it's supposed to be. On that note, because the mat is sticky, that tag is stuck on there, so it's not going to move with anything. So I'm going to leave that. Okay, and I want this to be a little bit darker, so I think I'm going to make the speed a little bit slower. Okay, so I'm going to change this to Mama's Babies. There we go. Just like that. Make it a little bit bigger, making sure it stays on my thing. Do process. It says it's going to take 3 minutes, and just press start. All right, now that we have that done, just rub it off just like we did with the circle tag. It is in there, but it is so teeny. Oh my goodness. Now, all I'm gonna do is assemble this. So I have my necklace that I got at Hobby Lobby. I'm only gonna use one circle ring or jump ring for this. So I'm just gonna use 2 little pliers. I'm gonna put the rectangle one in first. I'm gonna put my daughter's in because she's the oldest, and then my son's. I mean, it is that easy. And then I'm going to add in the necklace to the back and then close it up. There we go. All right, look at that cute little necklace I just made myself. Absolutely darling. All right, y'all, I sure hope I inspired you to make, and I will see you later.